Hey everyone, Nick from Narcomics here. So I thought doing a new series, just like media I've been consuming. It's been my wife and I just recently got a new puppy. I'll probably put a picture or something of her here. So a lot of it has been, inside, not leaving. We can't really do anything with the puppy here, so we have to find other ways to entertain ourselves. So I've been watching a lot of movies, reading a lot of books, reading a lot of comic books, and I just wanted to go over everything I've been consuming, and then just kind of rank them and then just talk about them. So because this is a comic book channel, we'll go over comic books first. I have started the DC series. It's a New 52 because I know there was two separate series on it. Damage. I'll put a picture of it here. I think it's a Tony Daniels illustrated book. I'm only one issue in, or half of an issue in, I guess. I just recently started it, and it seems to be like the DC version of the Hulk, if I'm not mistaken. It's a army soldier who turns into this beast for 1 hour a day, and his name is Damage, and he goes around the city and he kind of just wreaks havoc and does all these other things. So interesting concept, really cool art because it's Tony Daniels. Tony Daniels always has cool art. So interested in continuing on with that series and continuing on with reading that. I'm actually watching a movie right now. I stopped the movie to come over here and do this. I started Joker. Joker 2 Fall. I don't even know what it's called. Joker 2. Heard horrible things about it, but the first one was pretty good. I'm just excited to see, what all the noise was about. And just continue on with that. I really like Joaquin Phoenix. Lady Gaga's okay. She's been okay in some of the things I've watched, but cool to see. And then my wife and I also saw the play Wicked. So we started, not the movie, but we started Wizard of Oz. And just going back to, I think it was the 30s that the Wizard of Oz came out, and watching that movie again. I hadn't seen it since I was 4 or 5 years old, so it's really cool to see again and to connect the stories together, even though they're not really the same. Because I know Wicked was written in late 90s, early 2000s, something along those lines. So it's cool to see. Audiobooks. I'll probably do regular books first. So I finished the first one in this trilogy, Echo of Things to Come by James Islington. The first one was fantastic. This is a library book. It's got a cover on it. First one, fantastic. It was really good. The prologue and the epilogue really tied it all together. The epilogue blew my freaking mind. I started marathon training, and listening to that audiobook was crazy as I was running. But Echo of Things to Come is the second book in the series. As you can see, I'm not very far into it. So it's all right. It's not as good as this first one so far. I just got to keep reading it. I might spoil a little bit, but we'll be continuing with Caden, Asha, Davian, and Wer, and just seeing their story, seeing how they move along in this world. It's very similar to Harry Potter in the terms that there's a school for magic users, but that's pretty much it off the bat at the beginning of the first book, but I can't remember the name of it. Shadow What Was Lost, I think. Going to continue reading this one. I only have a certain limited amount of time, so I kind of got to fly through it because I haven't been reading it as much, but very cool, very good so far. And the first book was fantastic, so I really recommend that, but the second book in the trilogy, we're going to continue on with it. Audiobooks, I am, like I said, running. I already read the whole trilogy, but I wanted to get back into it to read the in-between and then the newer ones. And then he's coming out with a new book, but it's the first Lost series. The first one is The Blade itself, and it follows 4 characters. 3 characters. It moves on to 4 characters in a different book. At the beginning, there's 3 characters. Well, there's Logan Ninefingers, the Bloody Nine, Giselle Dan Luther is a swordsman and a noble, and the best character, in my opinion, in all of fiction, Sandang Glokta. Sandang Glokta is a tortured soldier turned torturer. So he's missing almost all of his teeth. None of his limbs work well. He He defecates on himself in the night. He's just a mess, but he's a torturer now. And hearing his inner monologue along with the actions that he performs on some of these people when he's torturing them is wild. And it is one of the best written characters I have ever read in fiction, at least in because I really do like Red Rising series. So it's at least in fantasy fiction. It's one of the best written characters I've ever read. I highly, highly recommend that series. It's really cool, really good twist. If you're really into grimdark, I think it's called. It's like so the Lord of the Rings isn't as dark. It's more of just a fantasy world, if I'm explaining this right. Grimdark is like there's no holds barred. They go all in. It's more of like a Game of Thrones-esque. So it's really cool. The first book is really political, just trying to determine like what's going on and vying for power. Because a little bit of a spoiler alert, the king does die, so they're trying to figure out who the next king should be. But I highly, highly recommend it. It's the First Law trilogy, First Law universe, I guess. But the first book is called The Blade itself, so I highly, highly recommend that one. And then, what else? What other media? I don't really think there's much. I did start Elden Ring again, getting back into the fantasy world. I tried to play Diablo 2 again, just wasn't as into it as I am with Elden Ring. So just going to continue with that. Next, I think I'm going to read, do I have it over here? No, but it's a Batman book. I'll put a picture here. I know nothing about it. The art looked cool. It's a little bit different than what I'm used to. And then I also want to read, I just put it out in a new video. This is my stack of things that needs to go get filed away. But I also do want to read Once and Future. Like I said, I'm on a really big fantasy kick right now. And starting next month with my other buddy, we're going to read Malice by John Gwynne. But Once and Future is a take on, kind of a play on Arthurian legend. So really excited to read this. I'm probably going to read it digitally because this is a really nice copy. I don't really want to crack it open. I kind of want to get it graded, but I like Kieran Gillen's work. And Dan Mora is always a good artist. So Once and Future I'm going to read next. And then Malice as far as novels go. And then audiobooks, I'll just continue on with the First Law series until I get to that. It's kind of the fourth book. Kind of not really. But yeah, that's all the media I've been consuming. I think I'm going to call this Media Monday. I don't know if this is going to do well at all, but I just like to talk about some of the things I've been enjoying. And if anyone wants to read, do a book club, I guess, just hit me up. We can get one going. I don't have a lot of... My friends don't read very much, so if someone is interested, let me know. We'll get that going. Anyway, I'm Nick from Narcomics. Thanks for watching.